our partnership and progress towards creating shared futures for the people of Africa and India. President of CII, Mr. Sanjeev Bajaj, Director General Chandrajit Banerjee, all the delegation members from over 20 countries who have participated in this very important conclave, friends from the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Must be one of those rare occasions when you get an opportunity to speak twice within a day. But this is one opportunity that gives me immense pleasure. In the morning, of course, I was in a little bit of a rush because Parliament is in session and I had to be in a meeting at 10 o'clock with the chairman of my house. But I do believe during the course of the day, we've had some very productive sessions. In fact, the corridors of Taj Palace are all about Africa-India partnership. With 35 ministers having traveled all the way to New Delhi, the strong interest that has been evinced in expanding trade and business ties with India, the many areas of partnership that have emerged from this conclave, with the many recommendations that have been discussed today, particularly how India can play a role in the economic development of several African countries, be it industry-based skills development, to improve the employability of our fellow African brothers and sisters, be it the tremendous opportunities to expand in the field of financial inclusion, in the field of taking basic needs of the people like electricity and water across the African continent, be it the possibilities in infrastructure creation, ports, airports, railways, expressways, connectivity through greater and deeper penetration of telecom networks, the learnings from India's own revolution in agricultural produce, both production and productivity, which can very well be emulated in Africa. Areas like health and education, about which I spoke earlier today. I think every single engagement today only demonstrates the immense possibilities that are in store between Africa and India, and therefore any effort, and particularly the wonderful work that CII and the Ministry of External Affairs have done in putting together this two-day conclave, will certainly have a huge impact in our engagement, both bilaterally and with the African group as a whole. I'm sure we'll be able to strengthen investment interest so that more and more Indian businesses can also look at Africa as a destination. I'm sure we'll be able to offer many new technologies that we are working on in India, which can easily help expand trade, commerce, business, investment, and opportunities for the youth of Africa. We've had a very strong partnership during COVID-19, particularly when it came to supporting many countries through our Vaccine Maitri program or other health-related engagements. And that truly underlines the solidarity between India and Africa. I do believe that going forward, we need to further expand this relationship, expand this partnership. And just like we saw at the World Trade Organization, the group of African countries working very closely with other developing and less developed nations like India, all of us working as one, speaking in one voice, understanding each other's concerns, expressing it to the rest of the world, fighting for justice, fighting for the cause of the developing world, the emerging markets, and ultimately coming up with very important and crucial outcomes which will, in the long run, both support multilateralism and provide more opportunities for our people to get a better future, a better and more promising life going forward. After the pandemic, both Africa and India have shown clear signs of resilience, recovery, and renewal. We see the economic bounce back in India. We see similar bounce back in Africa. Of course, we have challenges which we are all facing, challenges of high fuel prices, the energy crisis, food insecurity. Inflation is troubling almost the entire world today. Geopolitical situation in certain parts of the world have disrupted supply chains to the extent that it started hurting our economic interests. But I do believe that going forward, the economic outlook in the long run is surely going to be very promising, both for the African continent, all of you, your countries, your people, and for India. Because this is where the markets are. This is where future opportunities are. I very often, in the course of my engagement with various developed countries, and many of you may be aware that India is pursuing deeper engagement with several developed countries. We've concluded a free trade agreement very recently, a comprehensive economic partnership with UAE. Again, we've had an enhanced cooperation agreement, Indo-Australia Economic Cooperation and Trade Agreement, which we finalized and executed in April. We are at an advanced stage of discussions with the United Kingdom. We are looking at an enhanced trade partnership with Canada, with the EU, with Israel, and several other countries have expressed their desire to enter into free trade agreements or expand the bilateral or multilateral engagement between India and these countries. And why is there this sudden renewed interest in working with India? I think the world today sees in India the engine of future world growth. I often, in conversations with my colleagues from these developed countries, tell them that 30 years from today, any of us can do the maths. India will be 10x in terms of its economic size. We are about a $3.3 billion economy today. Even at a 8% economic growth, GDP growth, CAGR, we are looking at a 10x size of the Indian GDP 30 years from today. And for India to project an 8% growth consistently is not difficult given the strong fundamentals that we have been able to develop. The macroeconomic indicators in India, be it our very strong foundation in terms of democratic institutions, the rule of law, our transparent economic systems, be it our sincere and deep effort to make it easier to do business, to rid the country of corruption, our efforts to build infrastructure, world-class infrastructure, which will make our flow of goods seamless, affordable, bring down our logistics costs. The thrust that we are giving to develop high-quality products in India, improve our productivity, engage with modern technology, be it space technology, be it drones, be it fintech or edtech or health tech, engaging in digital world from a position of strength with the best in the world. We are very confident to see India at a 10x GDP level 30 years from today. And 30 years is not long in a nation's history. I would like to invite all my brothers and sisters from Africa to join us in this partnership so that we can look at a 30-year program for Africa, strengthen our economic cooperation in such a manner that each one of the African countries can also take their growth trajectory to this fast lane, the fast track, can also start engaging with the world from a position of strength, with better infrastructure, with better technologies, engaging with the digital world, engaging with modern quality standards, international standards, so that you also can look at a 10x growth in the coming years. You also can be looking at prosperity for the 1.4 billion Africans that reside in Africa, that all of you represent, so that you also can look at inviting larger amounts of foreign investments into your countries, but not from a position of weakness, but from a position of strength. And for that, I think India and Africa are natural partners. We are brothers and sisters. We understand each other. We share historical ties. We are two sets of people rooted in tradition, in culture, with a rich heritage that we have inherited over thousands of years, that our history and our friendship goes back to. And therefore, when we work together, we can move mountains. I heard many ministers talk about a free trade agreement. Sadly, we haven't been able to make much headway in trying to create bilaterally sound investment and trade policies and agreements between the African nations and India. And I would urge all my friends who are assembled here today to talk to your leaders, to get the African Union. I heard one of the ministers speak about India engaging with the African Union as a whole. We are ready and willing. We invite all of you to start the dialogue, start the discussion, because we do believe that the destiny of nearly 3 billion people are in our hands collectively. And mind you, we offer the world, the developed world, future opportunities which are unparalleled. And therefore, when we expand our engagement with each other, affordability will become better for the African countries. We will bring with us a partnership which will understand the difficulties or the ground realities that you are facing far better than anybody else. Because our thinking is aligned. Our situation is aligned. We understand what family values are. We understand the pain of poverty. We know that we have to address even the basic issues like nutrition, financial inclusion, ensuring that everybody gets an opportunity to have electricity in their homes, drinking water in their homes, road connectivity to their homes. We understand how important it is for Africa to have its own ports, owned and managed by yourselves, not by third countries. We understand how important it is for you to have opportunity to expand your railway network across Africa, and a network that allows seamless flow of goods throughout the continent, a network designed to serve 55 nations, all the African nations. And therefore, I invite all of you, my brothers and sisters, to work as partners, as friends. We trust you. We invite you to work in the spirit, in the template that Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi had set 4 years ago when he addressed the Ugandan Parliament. And I'll borrow from his message to Africa, where he had outlined certain key principles of our partnership. When he spoke to the Ugandan Parliament, he spoke about the Indian government's commitment to the economic resurgence of Africa. He spoke about taking India-Africa trade and investment to a much higher trajectory. He wanted to harness India's experience with the digital revolution to support your development. He wanted to extend this partnership between Africa and India to higher levels of education and health for the people of Africa. He wanted to support your efforts to spread digital literacy to the people of Africa. I think if we work together, areas like the India Stack, which has enabled fintech to prosper in India, which has enabled every single household in India to have access to banking system. Today, India boasts of one of the highest number of digital transactions carried out anywhere in the world, thanks to the India Stack, the UPI, United Payment Interface, that we have developed. We are also fast moving towards an open network for digital commerce, so that all the small retailers, the mom and pop stores which are threatened by the advent of e-commerce, can also have an opportunity using technology to provide goods and services in their neighborhood to their people. We have worked very sincerely to make it easier to do business in India, improving our own ranking on ease of doing business. We are happy to support you in your endeavors. We have strengthened the regulatory frameworks, be it the financial market, the stock market, our central bank, our competition commission, our election commission. India today boasts some of the finest regulatory institutions with very, very robust policies and methods of regulating different sectors, be it electricity, be it telecom, various sectors. We'd like to offer our support to your efforts in strengthening these institutions that today make India proud, and tomorrow, I hope, will make each African country proud. We believe in Africa-led development through trust-based diplomacy. And it is that trust that I'm offering to all my friends from different African countries assembled here today. We'll be happy to work to expand our engagement, make it deeper, make it stronger, improve our friendship, improve trade, investment, and technology across the African continent. And I invite all of you to be a part of this journey, shoulder to shoulder with India. I must compliment CII. I must once again thank all of you for having taken the time to come here on this very important engagement. We have just almost got out of COVID. I can't say we are totally out of it. We still have to be cautious. We still have to work together. Of course, our vaccine companies will be very, very happy to supply any number of vaccines that any country in Africa requires. And by the way, our vaccines are the most affordable and possibly the most effective anywhere in the world. You won't have to be dependent on $30 and $40 vaccines. You won't even possibly have to be dependent on the largest of a few countries. We make very affordable vaccines, and India has very recently, rather just 2 days back, completed giving 2 billion doses of vaccines. 99% of our adult population has received their first dose. Over 90% has received their second dose. And the third booster dose or precautionary dose is underway right now. We are running a 75-day campaign in our 75th year of independence to ensure that everybody gets a free third dose also. All our 200 crore or 2 billion vaccines have largely been given free of charge to every Indian across the country. Ladies and gentlemen, there were times when our frontline workers, our technicians, our sisters, nurses, our doctors have even gone climbing mountains just to reach 4 or 5 families who may be living at the top of a mountain. They've trekked 3 days up only to administer a vaccine to 7 or 8 or 10 adults. The first state to have 100% vaccination, incidentally, was a hill state, Himachal Pradesh. The Chief Minister told me there were places where he had to send the vaccines by helicopter and have them airdropped. And the technician or the frontline worker, sister would go there and administer the vaccine. I think that is the kind of very decisive leadership that India has today, and we feel privileged and proud to be able to serve 1.35 billion Indians towards a better future, towards progress, prosperity. And we would like to share this with all of you, my friends, my brothers, my sisters. As Honorable Prime Minister Modi had stated, India's development partnership with Africa will be on terms that will be comfortable for you, that will liberate your potential and not constrain your future. We want to work with you as equals. We want you to grow. We want you to prosper. We want you to ensure a better future, and we will be there to support your efforts as a friend, not as a competitor, not with any other motive, but to ensure your true potential serves your future and your prosperity. We are entering our Amrit Kal, the next 25 years, where we want to transform India's economy and the lives of our people to greater degree of prosperity. But for us, we believe in Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which translates into the world is one family. India and Africa together are one family. And I invite all of you, as my family members, as my brothers and sisters, to work together with us so that going forward, Africa and India will lead the rest of the world. Thank you very much.
With this, ladies and gentlemen, we come to a close of this session. And may I request you all to remain seated? We will continue with the next session right away. Requesting you all to remain seated, our Minister for